All right, folks, welcome to 𝗬𝗏𝗠𝗃𝗏𝗃. I'm still on the road, as you can tell from the background here. I'm in a nice little motel. I've been on the road to San Antonio, back to El Paso, headed back to El Paso right now. I saw the flooding firsthand. I got to see vehicles turned over, trees uprooted, marsh and bush spread all over the town of 𝗀𝗃𝗏𝗃. They're still looking for bodies. I got to see all this, folks. Gas station packed to the gills, lines of cars trying to get gas. I had to wait in line to fill up my truck. So lots of stuff going on here in 𝗀𝗃𝗏𝗃. Right now I'm in Fort Stockton on my way back to El Paso. The sky was black as night as I was driving through. Very uneasy, uncomfortable feeling. I saw some things that were anomalies. I saw certain electrical looking like sprites or rods shoot from the ground into the storm. I saw that. And I didn't know what it was as I was heading into San Antonio. And then as I was coming back, obviously we found out what happens. And then I got to stop on the Guadalupe Bridge. I went down below the Guadalupe Bridge where the river was, where it was flooding, walked all around in the marsh down there, saw all the trees uprooted, and now it looks like they may be getting smacked again. Folks, the rain is something I've never seen before. The storm was something I've never witnessed in my life. I've been driving this stretch of highway for, 20-something years, going to boxing camp back and forth. I have never witnessed any kind of storm like this in my life. I drove right through it. It was crazy. Blackness, like you could have told me a tornado was forming and I would have totally believed it. For 3 hours, I drove through this stuff and nothing subsided. It was absolute insanity. My truck was moving back and forth in the winds. I've never seen a storm like this in Texas and for a duration so long. Folks, I got a special guest today. I got 𝗵𝗏𝗶𝗹 coming on today. He's going to be giving his input on the Epstein list and everything that's happening. Now, my view on the Epstein list is pretty simple. I've always said Russiagate's going to break first. It's going to break first. I'm still adamant that there will be arrests. You better believe arrests are coming. I'm going to be blue in the face saying that. I also happen to know that there is a predicted 2 big other bills coming. Now, this is hypothetical, what I'm about to say. But are they holding on to the list? Are they holding on to not uncovering such a criminalized list, right? For the fact that these 2 big bills, maybe they need votes by certain people. I don't know, but there's 2 more coming from what I've been told. Now, that's just a theory I have that maybe they're holding on to something to secure votes for this bill to bring in the proper infrastructure that is needed to get America on the back track, on the right track. I don't know. I'm just putting that out there, but we're going to cover the Epstein list today with 𝗵𝗏𝗶𝗹. This actually just hit this morning. It's trending. It's going. It's all over the internet right now. I'm reaching out to people to get the correct data on what the hell is going on here. And I'm going to read a little bit of something with Pam Bondi. But first, folks, get your Noble Gold. Get Noble Gold. Most investments today feel like second jobs. Real estate, you're a landlord. Stocks, you're a day trader. Crypto, you're a full-time researcher. You've got a life to live. Your investments should help you live that life. That's why more Americans are choosing gold, folks, gold and silver. Noble Gold has helped thousands protect their future with real physical gold. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com to get your free wealth protection kit. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Get on it now. Freedom and peace of mind delivered 1 ounce at a time, folks. Noble Gold, get it done. Before I get into this, you know, Mike Flynn, and I think I sent you the tweet or the X post, Alex. I said Mike Flynn is raising questions about Brennan. There's a lot of stuff happening here. A lot of people are raising questions about Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi has stated before that she had the list on her desk. I don't know if you all remember her saying this, that she had the list on her desk. She's also said that there's tens and thousands of video footage that they're combing through, and they don't want to out the victims, but they have said time and again that there was a list. So what happened to this list? Is the FBI and DOJ compromised? Or is something big afoot here, something bigger? It's kind of like, if you've heard Juan say it, like trading cards. You give me this player, I give you that player. Maybe in my mind, there's something waiting. Like I've been told, the two other bills that are in the pipeline being planned after this big, beautiful bill that are coming. One could come this year and one early next year. Now, it would just, in my mind, maybe they need the votes. I don't know, folks. You leave your thoughts in the post below. Folks, remember also when the lights go out on Amazon. Also, my mama's book, the Mexican Mix, on Amazon as well. I'm going to read something here just for a second. And I got to say, folks, I really got to say that I feel that Russiagate is going to break first. That's what you got to look into. That's what you got to be on the watch for, is Russiagate. But Pam Bondi is under scrutiny over Jeffrey Epstein list revelation. Attorney General Pam Bondi is facing scrutiny after a memo from the Department of Justice, DOJ, said there was no evidence that the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein kept a client list. Now, you guys remember Dan Bongino, I don't know how many shows he's done where he said, no. We all know that Jeffrey Epstein didn't self-delete, blah, 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 blah. He was adamant about this. And now they're all coming out, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi, saying, we were wrong. We got footage. They're releasing it. There is no Epstein list. A complete contradictory, though. We've always known. We've always known. The Patriots know. There's a list. So who are they trying to protect? And a lot of us go back to Elon Musk saying, Trump's on that list. Folks, I think there's a bluff move being played here for a bigger picture. And if I'm right about this, I think Russiagate's going to break first. And I do believe the Epstein list will be on the back burner until the very last second. Now, that's just my theory. That's just my opinion. But Newsweek contacted DOJ for comment via contact form on its website outside regular business hours. And rumors about Epstein's alleged client list have spiraled since the disgraced financier died while awaiting trial on sex offender charges in 2019, and some believing it would implicate high-profile names in sex crimes. In his since-deleted social media post, billionaire Elon Musk said without evidence during his criminous fallout with President Donald Trump last month that the Epstein files had not been released because Trump was featured on them. The president has dismissed this claim, saying he had nothing to do with it. According to the memo, no further charges are expected in connection with the review. We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties, the memo said. It also said the DOJ and the Federal Bureau of Investigation's review of records found that much of it was subject to court-ordered sealing, and that only a fraction would have been aired publicly had Epstein gone to trial, and the seal served only to protect victims and not expose any additional third parties to allegations of illegal wrongdoing. Through this review, we found no basis to revisit the disclosure of those materials and will not permit the release of child you-know-what, the memo continued. Explaining the decision not to release further records, the memo said one of the government's highest priorities is combating child exploitation and bringing justice to victims. It added, perpetuating unfounded theories about Epstein serves neither of these ends. The details in the memo have prompted questions, including the Trump supporters, about Bondi's past comments about Epstein's alleged client list. In February, Bondi said on Fox News that an alleged client list, now this is important, Bondi said this, an alleged client list was sitting on her desk. Let me repeat that. An alleged client list was sitting on her desk and would be soon released. The Justice Department then distributed binders marked declassified to far-right influencers at the White House, but it quickly became clear that much of the information had been had long been in the public domain. The debacle angered conservatives and failed to tap down conspiracy theories around the Epstein case. Later, 𝗏𝗍 said that she had been made aware of the existence of thousands of pages of previously disclosed documents, adding that she had ordered the FBI to provide the full and complete Epstein files, including any videos. She said on May that the FBI was reviewing tens and thousands of videos. Tens and thousands of videos, she states, are there that they were combing through with children inside of them with adults, okay? Very disturbing footage. 𝗏𝗍's comments and the delay in releasing the next batch of documents have tapped into suspicions that damaging details about Epstein or other prominent figures remain hidden. The Associated Press reported in July 1st that it had spoken with lawyers and law enforcement officials in the criminal cases of Epstein and his former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, who was convicted of sex trafficking charges after helping Epstein abuse underage girls. The officials said they hadn't seen and didn't know of a drove of recordings like what 𝗏𝗍 had described. So everything is contradiction right now. Conservative activist Robbie Starbuck wrote on X, formerly Twitter, Pam 𝗏𝗍 said the Epstein client list was on her desk to review for release to the public just a few months ago. Now the DOJ she leads claims there is no Epstein list. Sorry, but this is unacceptable. Was she lying then or is she lying now? We deserve answers, and I agree with this. But I think something bigger is at play here. Like I said, Michael Flynn put out an X post claiming, when are we going to look into John Brennan? I also happen to know, and I feel that Russiagate is going to break first. And you know, if you've heard it many times from my guest. You've heard it many times from my guests. It's like playing trading cards, folks. Trading cards. You give me this card, I give you that. We work this deal, you work that. I think I'm not going to jump ship yet, folks. I'm going to stay on board here. And I'm going to tell you this. I believe that's going to be on the back burner for now. Now, I'm as frustrated as anybody, and I'm as pissed off as anybody. But I'm going to file that back because I believe there's negotiations being met here. And I think there's two big other bills coming. And I believe Russiagate will break first. And I believe so will 2020. It ain't over yet. So there's certain things in the pipeline that I'm looking at. Epstein's kind of last. But I still believe something's going to happen that's going to make it pop. Something's going to happen. Stay patient. Stay with me, Patriots. And I'm going to get to all that. And first, without further ado, don't think I forgot, okay? Don't think I forgot, baby. Oh, yeah. Coming at you live from the apocalypse, folks. Oh, yeah. They think they've won. They haven't won anything. They haven't won shit. Folks, also, Nino'sCorner.tv. Remember, Ringside with Nino. Ringside with Nino this Thursday coming up. You want to get over there and join. It's the Black Sheep family. We'll be wargaming everything, talking about absolutely everything, the Epstein list, the floods, Trump's next move. I'll disclose what I feel is in these next two bills coming. Ringside with Nino. Also, I got two generals tents this month. I got Colonel Towner Watkins, and I got 𝗏𝗏 this month. So two generals in the generals tent this month, going to be talking about everything. And without further ado, folks, let's bring on my boy, Beck Lover. Beck, how you doing?
Nino, always a pleasure to see you. Hello, everyone watching. Thoughts and prayers go down to the families in Texas affected. As you know, I was born in Texas.
Where were you born in Texas?
I was born in Houston.
God, I hate that town.
So let's put it this way. I haven't been back to Houston since 1998, and I got family there. My dad still owns a home there, but I have no desire to be in that sauna. It's a sauna.
Oh, it's a sauna. It's
I don't know how anyone does it. I mean, I don't know how they do it.
So Beck, let's bring this on. We were gonna talk about mainly the floods today, and this morning you said you see what's breaking right now, the Epstein list. It's bunk. I mean, it's not gonna be out. A lot of people are upset over this. The internet's on fire over this right now. You know, and all I can say is I'm not going to lie about this. I've always kind of expected this, but I feel with what I know and the people that I talk to, my guess that Russiagate is going to be the first to pop. And I think the Epstein list will come to surface sometime down the line. I don't know how you feel about that, but I'm not ready to jump ship just yet.
So it's very hard to stay positive with this type of news.
Right.
I want to believe in this, you know, there's this master plan and they're going to save us. And a lot of the right now.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Can't say that. Okay.
Yeah. A lot of the people
who were hoping for this miracle, in my opinion, Nino, it's not coming.
All right.
And I'll tell you why. I look at things from the spiritual perspective.
Okay.
As people that believe in God. God has allowed us to see what's happening. We don't even need to see the list. You know the truth? None of us need to see the list. What do I mean by that? We already know, man. We already know what's been going on in this world for so long. All you got to do is turn on your TV and you can see how far away from the right path we are as Americans, as human beings. Do you really? I mean, let's be real. Whether you saw the list or not, do we need it to try to wake up?
I think people want justice.
Exactly. I'm going to get to that. Do we need it to have justice and hold who's accountable and hopefully wake up a lot of people who have really just been asleep for a very long time? Yeah, because unfortunately, there's just some people that unless they see it on Fox News or CNN and a news anchor tells them it's not the truth. Right? They've been conditioned so well that they can't critically think. They look at people like us as outcasts and we've lost our minds and we're crazy. But the truth of the matter is, one of the clips I had that went viral in the last couple of years was about how no one's coming to save us. Okay? God has allowed us to see just how corrupt the world we live in is. And God also gave us a gift. It's called free will. And unless we use this gift to push back against this darkness, which people like you are, Nino, people like me of all colors, all races, all religions, who can see, are trying to come together because we live in such a volatile time, Nino. I lived my life. I had an amazing life. You had an amazing life, man. You're a boxing champ. You've done some amazing stuff. I had a good life. If we don't do something soon, we're all in trouble. That list, what has happened on that island, is the key to the entire awakening, of the great awakening that we talk about, that we're in right now. That list, those people, who was really involved, what countries were involved, is literally the key to everything. And I think even if there was some kind of plan and it's going to come out one day, I don't think it will, because the amount of devastation that it will create to the system,
right?
I don't think we're ever going to get that information.
I think certain things got to be put in place, and I share your sentiments on so many levels. Like, I'm frustrated too. I would like to have seen it come out now, but I think what I'm looking at as a strategist, as a fighter, you can't blame me for that. I've been doing this my whole life. I see brilliant strategy from the Trump side. Now, would I like to see the list come out right now? You never know how Trump's exposing people. Trump has done this time and time again. I do think that there's going to be arrests, but I don't think they're going to be Epstein. I think that'll come later. And I've always said this, I'm time-stamped on this. I said that's going to come way later. What's going to break first? The premieres, the shows that I've gone to with 𝗂𝗫, the things I've seen, it's going to be Russiagate. That's what's going to break first. And they're going to think they won. This list is going to make them think they won. Appear weak when you're really strong. I'm following the art of war here. And I know it's probably not very popular, but I've never been very popular with a lot of people. I do my own thinking as a man. And I'm going to say that I think this Epstein list is going to be held for later. These names will come in a matter of time. They can't afford this right now. There's other things that need to be put in place, like the infrastructure, the big, beautiful bill. Things have to be put in place. You have to deport mass deportations of illegals. There's the Russiagate thing's going to pop. 2020 is going to get walked back. All this stuff is coming. I see it coming out. Am I going to be the crazy guy? I've been the crazy guy for so long, I'm used to it, you know? I know what people say. Oh, he's nuts. He's crazy. But I've been right. I've been right every single time. I've been over the target. So I'm not going to back down now. I ain't backing down. I'm going to say things are coming, folks. Just you wait. And I may sound like the crazy guy right now, but go look at my resume. I've been right over 90% of the time. I've been off on some dates, but I've been off. The main thing I've been off about is the civil unrest. I said, oh, you know, the civil unrest is going to come in October. I was wrong. It came in June, but I was still right. So I'm telling people this stuff is still coming. Things have to be put in place. First, Russiagate, 2020, all these things have to transpire and happen. And then I think, and then I'm going to say, maybe 𝗵𝗶𝗀 gets exposed. Maybe some other people get exposed along the way. I don't know. But I'm going to say this Epstein thing ain't over yet. Just like 2020 ain't over yet, I'm going to say Epstein's out. But like I said, it's just an opinion.
Do I agree that, first of all, we got to be fair, right? This is such a massive thing, and there's so many people implicated in this, that it's not just a 1, 2, 3, right? And even to try to prosecute something of that caliber, international conspiracy, let's call it, with many politicians and powerful people and bankers. And I mean, you're talking about literally a conglomerate, all in bed, all in cahoots. You're talking about a RICO of the RICOs, right? We're talking about on a level that is, which is why I tend to believe it'll never happen. In my opinion, I'm going the other way. I wanted to have hope.
You're entitled to that, and I can see your
I wanted to have hope.
completely.
Now, can I agree with your logic that something of that caliber, like you really got to play some games, and you gotta like strategize, and you gotta maybe do this first. Like I agree with that. I'll give you that logic. I agree with you. Just trying to prosecute something of that caliber internationally. I mean, you're talking about a lot of moving pieces, not a few things here. It's not just, oh, it was, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to tell everyone, I see that there's about almost 6,500 people watching right now. I'm going to ask everybody, please, if you're watching on X, if you're watching on Facebook, please move right now to YouTube. We're gonna finish this interesting discussion on YouTube. So everyone, your X and your Facebook's gonna get cut right now. Please head over to YouTube and join part of the discussion. It's also Monday, which is gift card giveaway. So Alex, who's the first winner for the gift card giveaway? Congratulations, number one, 𝗵𝗶𝗱𝗶. 𝗵𝗶𝗱𝗶, you are the winner. If you're gonna win, folks, if you want to play to win, you got to go to the YouTube discussion. We're gonna cut the feed right now. So the first gift card winner is 𝗵𝗶𝗱𝗶, baby. Oh, yeah. All right. So I'm upset like you are, Beck. I would love to have seen it right. I want to see.
I'm not upset.
Right,
I was not expecting anything good.
Okay.
I don't think anyone's coming to save us as Americans. I think from a spiritual perspective, God has allowed us to see the corruption that has seeped into this nation, and any people that have morals. I don't care what religion you are. That's another tactic they use. Anyone that believes in a higher power or just has morals, if you don't see that there's something wrong with the world that we live in, especially in our country, with what's been going on, and war after war, and we got trillions of dollars for destruction all over the earth and nothing for construction. I cannot believe, for example, what has happened to New York City in the last decade is just 5 years, really, the way just upside down. What has happened in the last 5 years is just crazy. And if you can't see it by now, and I'm tired of this left and right stuff, man. There is no left and right. There's right. That's it. You either see what's right and what's wrong. Morals or no morals. Family, God, morality, man. There's no morality. So what are you expecting? You expecting these people with no morals to come and save us? God is allowing us to see the evil that has seeped into this nation, and either we, the American,
do you believe
we have to save this country? No one's coming to save us, Nino. No one's coming to save us.
Do you believe we are living in Revelations?
Yes.
I do too. So
I think we're in the end of this nation. I think this country will collapse, and a certain country in the Middle East will be the ruling power of the world. And I think we've already seen it. It's already showed its head if you can't see it.
So
I think this country's in the end of its days.
I understand your point of view, and I know a lot of people feel that way, but I don't believe that. I think America is going to be strong. I think
you believe in an Antichrist, though, right, Nino?
I think for a time
so where
period.
is his throne, Nino?
Well,
Where's his throne? It's not here. It's not in DC.
In the Middle East.
He has to be instead of Christ. He has to rule from where Christ would rule from, and that's not
okay.
Here.
So here's what I'm going to say. I think we're going to bring America back. We're going to get a foothold for a period of time. And I think that's probably going to be 5 years, 10 years max. And then I think it's going to hit. And that's when I think AI is just going to go out of control. I think we're going to see aliens in the sky. I think we're going to see the Antichrist. I think we're about 5 to 10 years away. I think after 2030, that's all coming. But as of right now, I think we're going to get a foothold. We're going to bring the reins back into America. We're going to enter this perceived golden age. But I do believe, I agree with you there, that something's coming, but I still think we're in a window of time where we're going to be allowed. We're going to be allowed to come back to Christ. We're going to be allowed to come back to our faiths and see the revelation, see the unraveling.
That's all that's going on, in my opinion.
Yeah, so I agree with you there.
I don't think we're going to have a golden age. I think we are literally in the eye of the storm. We're getting a little bit of relief because we're in the eye, and we're about to catch the back end of all the chaos we've seen over the last 5 years on a whole nother level.
Oh, there's going to be.
I agree with you when you say there's this time that we're getting. Yes, I agree, because God never destroys civilization until he allows them to see the evil. He didn't just destroy Egypt. He allowed them to see. And many of Pharaoh's people followed Moses because they knew this guy came from God. Some of his own magicians were crucified because when they saw Moses' miracles, they joined Moses. And Pharaoh said, I'm gonna kill you for following him. So God never destroys a people without letting them see. And because of the weapons that have been used against humanity, the media, the this, the that, God, they're gonna just destroy. He cannot destroy us until he gives us a chance. We can all see it now. If you think some orange-haired man's gonna come and save us, you're wrong. I've said this publicly a couple of years ago. It went viral. Was I hoping? Me and you've had many conversations. Was I hoping?
I think this orange-haired guy that you're speaking of is the only reason we're in the fight right now. That's it. That's it. I'm telling you right now. I think if it wasn't for him, who would we better off?
It'd be done already. No.
Exactly. We're in the fight right now. We're being allowed to be in this fight by God's grace. That bullet that should have hit Trump's head missed him by a fraction of a hair. That man would be out. If he would have been out, we'd be done for. I'm telling you, we're in the fight. We're going to continue this fight.
I think it's just we get to see the truth and we choose, and we're going to.
But we need
everyone watching this. Everyone watching this is going to have to make a choice sooner or later. Many of us have already. I've already made my choice. I don't care what happens to me, because the world that comes after this is not going to be a world worth living in. What is coming after all of this corruption, and if these people win, this technocracy that's trying to form, the kind of world you're going to live in, the kind of world your children are going to live in, and those of you that are foolish to use cryptocurrency, in my opinion, Nino, yeah, you're going to make money in the short term, but they're going to pull that rug under your feet because you're going to build your own prison with your compliance. I was in LA right before the riots. I was in Los Angeles, and I could not believe what I saw, which always happens when I go there anyway. But I mean, this time around, technology-wise, every other car had no driver. Every other car.
That's how it is in Austin.
Driverless. I was like, oh my God. I needed towels. Robot came to my thing. We're obsolete. We're obsolete. All of us soon, very soon. Even me and you, maybe. Which is why I think shows like this should have a mark on them. Organic, made by humans. We need to start protecting the arts now. We shouldn't even participate in our own obsolescence. Imagine how many Uber drivers are going to lose their jobs in the next couple of years. Do you know how many people survive as taxi drivers in New York City? I would say probably a third, literally a third. Mm-hmm. Like, we are in the middle of great change. Some of it may be viewed as positive. Some of it is positive. I mean, you remember how the world was. I can go to any city and feel like I live there. I don't get lost. I have navigation. I feel very safe. It was scary to navigate 30 years ago. You get lost. Where the hell am I going? You'd have to try to stop and ask some random stranger. Like, things have changed so much. Okay, cool. That's the good part of it. What's the bad part? I think we're starting to see the bad part. We're starting to see the effect it's had on society, divorce, this, that. I mean, it's just, we live in such a volatile time, you know. And some would say, well,
I'm more optimistic about this. I think, you know, I get your sentiment. I understand where you're coming from totally, but I also see strategy, and that you can blame me for being a fighter or whatever. I see, you know, I know where we are in this world. I know where we're headed, right? I still believe we're going to come out of this for a period of time and be allowed to live in a type of golden age. I do believe we are in the fight right now. This fight is waging only because Trump was the great exposer. If he didn't expose us, we wouldn't know who we were fighting against. More people are coming to Christianity now than ever before, right now. You know, and I want to touch on this just a little bit as well. You know, by pure coincidence, I was driving to San Antonio, and then I went through the flooded areas. I went through all that. I got some film on it. I'm going to tell you right now, I saw so many anomalies. I know what we're up against. That was not natural by any means. That weather that hit Texas right now, and it's still hitting, was not natural. I saw anomalies. I saw electric streaks from the ground shooting up into the sky. What the hell was that? You know, so I know what I saw. And I'm going to tell you right now, the flooding, everything was a direct hit. That was a weapon. And I can't go into it too much here on YouTube, but we are being attacked heavily right now. Why? Because Trump is a threat. Because the people waking up is a threat. We are in the fight. All I'm saying is, whether we win this or not, God's in control, but we are in the fight. And to me, I'm very optimistic about that, because being in the fight is where I like to be. That's where I roll up my sleeves and get to work.
You know, I was in San Antonio for a couple of months. Actually, when I was a kid, I actually fell into the Riverwalk. It's one of my first.
Yeah, but it's only about 3 feet of water, right? How deep is it? I've been wondering how deep is
when you're a kid. When you're a kid and you fall in, you know, it's, you know, my dad got me out right away, but it's traumatizing because you can drown just because you get shocked. You know, you forget.
Yeah.
That's like one of my first experiences with water. I remember falling into the Riverwalk. I must have been 3 or 4 years old. But, you know, San Antonio, for those that don't know nothing about it, except for the fact that the Alamo's there, is probably it's a place that actually taught me how to have patience as a New Yorker, which is crazy, because when I was down there, no one even honks their horns. Like, a light will turn red, I've noticed, and it could be red it could turn, a light turns green, you're stopped in traffic, and literally a minute will go by and nobody will honk their horn. And in New York City, the second it turns green, we hit the horn.
Yeah.
So when I was down there, I learned how to become calmer as a human being, believe it or not. So there's such a kind people in San Antonio, and like, it really hurts me to hear what happened to them. So again, my prayers are with them. Speaking about weather, Nino, I've done over 30 flights. I mean, go to my Instagram, people. I'm all over the place. I just got back from Vancouver, okay, Canada. I was in Seattle, all right, LA, Vegas, Texas, New York. I'm all over the place, okay? If you haven't figured out, there's something very weird going on above our skies, where you can see this haze. We have different words for it, different terminology, like the dimming. Okay, I think I'm leaning more towards that, because that's what it seems like it looks like. You can see these planes. I've captured it with my own phone. Planes at the same altitude. How come only one has a jet stream, the other doesn't? How come one jet stream lasts for hours and hours, and you can literally see it aerosol over the sky? How many of you even look up at this? How many of you listening to this show even monitor the sky? Like, literally every day, just look up. I promise you, if you live over a major city, you're going to start to notice there's something wrong. There's something that doesn't make sense. There's something happening above us. You know,
I suggest everyone go to my X Spaces. I had Dane Wigington on talking about what's happening in the skies, how this is happening. Very informative interview, very informative. I guess X Spaces I guess it's a podcast. Dane Wigington, folks, get over there and watch or listen to that X Spaces. It's also on ninoscorner.tv. All the inner workings on how they're doing this and why they're doing this is there. Dane Wigington is a leading expert on geo, you know what, on everything that's happening within the air. So I'm going to tell you this, Beck. When I was in Kerrville, the sky when I was driving through there was pitch black. I've never seen. You could have told me.
But when you're saying pitch black, at what time? Like, was it daylight?
During the day, right? Like driving right into it, the wind started picking up, and then all of a sudden blackness fell, and the rain would just not stop, and it lasted for 3 hours. You know, me driving through Texas, that has never happened in my life. I was actually paranoid that a tornado was going to touch down, and I was going to be in real trouble. I was on the freeway, cars were pulling over with their hazard lights. You couldn't see a foot in front of you. It was just massive amounts of rain just pouring down. I've never been in that type of situation driving through Texas. I've driven through Texas 25 years now to go to boxing camps and stuff like that. This was the first time I've ever seen it like this, and it lasted for so long. It looked completely artificial. There were so many anomalies that I saw that did not make sense.
What you're saying is weird about is that the amount of rain and how long it's sustained. Because usually, like when you have a storm, it's like, okay, even 10, 15 minutes, and then it'll like calm down a little bit.
No, this was like hours and hours and hours of just driving through. Yes, and I'm talking like you could have told me it was Noah's flood, and I would have believed it. Insane. Cars were pulling over left and right on the freeway.
I mean, you risk your life to do this, Nino. You do know that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, please don't do that.
Well, dude, I didn't know I was going through I didn't have any idea I didn't read the weather report. I didn't know rain was forecasted. I was just driving to San Antonio. I had doctor's visits and stuff like that to do. And I get there and the whole place, boom, flash flood. You know, and I stopped on the way back at the Guadalupe Bridge and looked over the bridge and saw the Guadalupe River that just probably got about a mile long. They're still looking for people, by the way. There's 100 reported dead, over 100 reported dead, still looking for lost bodies. I was down there. The helicopters were flying above me. The air vac helicopters were flying above me. It was bad. I mean, it was really, really scary stuff. Congratulations, American Woman, by the way. American Woman, you're the second winner. American Woman, thanks for playing Nino's Casino. So right now what they're doing in the Texas flood death toll set up to 100 as family members summoned Kerrville to ID bodies with DNA. Texas Division of Emergency Management predicted the number of dead as a result of catastrophic flooding in Kerrville on July 4th. The same day Trump signed the big, beautiful bill, all that stuff would top over 100 people, and it's still climbing. So you got to think, you know, call me a conspiracy theorist, whatever you want. But I always believe they do these certain disasters on certain days, dates, and times. And I believe it's ritualistic. And I firmly believe that. I have all evidence points to that. What's your thoughts on that, Beck? Do you believe these events happen at certain times according to an occult calendar, or to win over a power number or win over a power date?
I believe that, and I've given lectures about this, it's, you know, the workings of the demonic realm, human beings that have aligned with Satan and his minions. I believe there are rituals that are done on certain dates. I can't sit there and say I would know exactly when or how, but I do believe that there is still sacrifice out there. I believe that that's how you show loyalty at the highest levels to the demonic realm. And I believe humanity has been in war with you know, and most of us don't even realize it, you know, and we come up with these words like aliens and all this stuff, and really all it's ever been is our species against theirs, and their species has been jealous of us since the day God gave us dominion over the earth. And this battle has been going on since Adam fell to the heavens, you know, came to earth, and this war has been going on ever since. And there's unfortunately traitors within our species who do the most vile things to gain knowledge and power of things that they would never have. We did an episode about it, me and you, where we spoke about people like Aleister Crowley, who also is one of the biggest keys to the entire puzzle of what has happened to America and the world over the last 100 years. To know his life is one of the biggest clues to everything that has been formed above us, the people that worked with him, and the people that are connected to that group of people till this day. These are not just conspiracies. Like, read these people's lives. Eventually, when you have too many coincidences, it's not a coincidence. How is it every time I look up at the sky, Nino, a day that's forecasted to be crystal clear, It's clear on the radars and the news, but when I look up, there's a haze. And then I just sit there and watch the sky. Oh, like, please pay attention. We're so distracted. There's so much going on. And we really need to pay attention. And what I don't want is people to forget about Epstein. Okay, that's it. It's over. We didn't get the list. You know, these people are bad. No. I don't want people to forget about what happened in 2019 and 2020. Our families deserve justice. I lost cousins, family, blood that lost their lives.
Be careful here.
I know. They went to get help and they never came back out of those institutions. We all know now that it wasn't just some made up, story. We know where it came from. We know who was behind it. This is one of the greatest crimes against humanity ever. And you don't want justice for your family, for your friends? I have friends and family that put these treatments into their bodies. They've never been the same. People are dropping left and right. What's wrong with you people? And I really do believe it has affected their critical thinking. A lot of the people that put whatever they did into them, like, I feel like they've become.
I think but no doubt about it, we are in the fight right now, and there's going to be casualties of war, Beck. And you and I both know that when you go to war, there's casualties of war. This is 5th generation warfare, and what we're experiencing right now, people are going to die. I think by the end of this, 3 out of 5 people or 4 out of 5 people will die due to the hits we're going to take by this war, the globalist war. It's an unconventional war. It's not tanks and bombs. It's unconventional. It's in the air, what we're breathing. It's in the food. It's in this.
And do you know what's crazy, Nino? When you're in a place like New York City, right? I'm still here. For some reason, I tried to move to San Antonio, but the Lord didn't want me there. I've been trying to get out of this city for years.
Just don't go to the Riverwalk.
Yeah, I know. Well, unfortunately, that whole place became a river. With sometimes down there, you don't even know where a river might pop up, right? Because that's how Texas is. It's flat, So, it's what's really disturbing to me in the New York City before 2019 and after, and me and you became friends during that volatile time in world history. And yeah, is there a lot of cars in the street and a lot of people walking down the blocks? Yeah, so the streets will be busy, right? Now what's missing is very obvious. All the people in suits, so all that New York City business, this is the epicenter of business, that's gone, completely gone. It does not exist anymore. It's gone. It's finished. There's no one in suits. A lot of these landlords that own these buildings that were used for office space are trying to figure out what to do. Some of them, I hear them, are offering them as ghost kitchens so they can be turned into kitchens used for Uber and stuff like that. I mean, can you just wrap your head around that Midtown Manhattan is
ghost kitchens? I've never heard of that. That's just for Uber deliveries?
Yeah, like these third party, kitchens so they can do food delivery because there's no more office usage. People are barely going into the city to use all. You don't
right.
see.
I know commercial real estate is suffering. Retail spaces are suffering in every city. So you're telling me, so in New York, I mean, do you remember just before the internet, before cell phones, you would walk into a restaurant and hear people laughing and conversing.
You hear noise.
And do you hear that anymore?
That's what I'm saying to you. That's the point I was getting to. You just hit it right on the head. Here's what's scary, man. And I believe they came up with a term for this. I forgot what it's called, but so I'll be on the street, right? Hey, it was, weekend. I go on the street. There's tons of people outside, but you can hear a pin drop. There's no noise. I'm talking about Midtown Manhattan. I can't put my finger on it. It's just so weird. It's like you could be on the street. There's people walking everywhere. There's no noise. There's no freaking noise, Nino. I can't explain it. It's just really weird.
People aren't interacting the way they used to. Everyone's on
at all. They're on their phone. They're plugged in.
Disconnected.
Now in Vancouver, I felt the opposite, believe it or not. In Vancouver, when I was there 2 weeks ago, they were talking, they were laughing, and I didn't see anyone plugged in. And I'm like, wait, this is weird. Wait. This is how life used to be. And I felt like it was so overwhelming that for the few days I was there, I'm like, why does it feel so normal here? And I get that vibe in Miami, right? When I'm in Miami and in Dallas, I feel people are more unplugged and they talk and like it seems like I want to get the hell out of here. Something's wrong. It's never coming back.
It's such a big city.
I can't overcome that. My city will never be what I remember.
But New York is such a big city. It should be the opposite.
I can't explain it, It's so weird, brother. It's just weird.
I think what's coming, and I think what people need to look for is, Elon Musk with this Neuralink stuff. And I think people are going to be hacked, biologically hacked into accepting, they're saying they can heal eyesight, deafness, make you walk again. All these chips and devices are going to make you biohumans. They're going to make you, human deus humans. The next transhumanism, the next step forward is we're going to be integrated with this cyborg technology where we're going to be walking around. I think that is coming. I don't think you can stop that. And I think
the opposite is going to happen eventually. You know what I think is going to happen?
What?
I think God is going to balance the battlefield. That's what I think.
Well, I think it's going to be a collision course. I think
when it pops off,
for the collision course,
when this spiritual battle begins, I believe God will balance the battlefield eventually. Some kind of meteorite or something that will take out tech. I believe that the Creator will balance. I believe.
So an unplug. There's going to be a reset.
I believe there will be some event that levels the
battle. So that's what these about.
Weapons against humanity are too powerful for the weak.
Okay, so that's what they talk about on those certain boards, right? Yeah. And I agree with you. I think that's the only way we can salvage our existence is to unplug from AI. I think this is going to be so powerful, and it's going to be leapfrogging so fast. It's going to be warp speed, dude. Like already we can't tell what's real or fake on the internet. There's times I look at a picture or a video and I'm like, wait, what is it?
It's only a couple of generations, right? Imagine 2 more generations from now with the tech, right? We're seeing the early phases of AI. Imagine how sick these videos are going to become, where literally you will not be able to believe anything you hear and only half of what you see. That is the world we're coming in.
Let me read this article here just to actually, this goes to your point. Air Force, and what we were just talking about, it has to do with Elon Musk. And I think this has to go with, I kind of feel, I don't know if it's scripted what's happening between Elon Musk and Trump, or if they really are having a falling out. I've always said Elon Musk, I've never trusted the guy. I looked at his Baphomet costume. I've always heard it was a black hat turned gray hat, goes white hat, whatever. I think Trump used him to expose him. And I think that might be what's happening with 𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗶𝗶 right now, but I'm not sure. I'm just putting that out there. I don't know for a fact. This is hypothetical. And what I'm going to say here is Air Force abandons project with Musk's at SpaceX. The U.S. Air Force has abandoned plans to test hypersonic rocket cargo deliveries from a remote Pacific atoll using Elon Musk's SpaceX. A U.S. military publication has reported the decision was made after Reuters reported that experts were concerned the project, which would be based on the remote Johnson Atoll in the Pacific Ocean, would harm the seabirds that nest on the island. So that's a bunch of bullshit. It just looks like it's an excuse. So Air Force abandons project with Musk. A lot of things seem to be backfiring on Musk and foiling in Musk. Did Trump use him? What's your thoughts on Elon Musk? Do you think that maybe Trump used him for the vote and also for Doge, and then exposed him and just left him out to dry? What's your thoughts on that?
I never trusted him. Just like Scarface when Tony Montana goes, I never trusted him, man. For all I know, he had me set up and had my friend Angel Fernandez killed.
There you go. That's how I feel. How I feel about Musk.
Yeah, I feel like he was a groomed perception of Tony Stark, like this hero that was put there for us.
Well, it looks like Beck's internet cut out or something. Alex, can we did
Yeah, slight technical difficulties with Beck's feed. He'll be right back here, though, I'm sure.
Just waiting for him to get back on. But I think, I can't make up my mind. Well, I'm going to just say this. I can't make up my mind with Elon Musk. And, is he dark MAGA? Is he playing a role? Trump did give him a key. I think that was very symbolic. I feel like maybe he is playing a role. This is scripted, maybe. But I also have never trusted the guy, and I'm always going to come out and say what I feel. My first intuition was you can't trust the guy at all. So, Beck, good to have you back. Go ahead. Oh, wait.
Nino, so
Gift card winner number 3, though. DJ, baby. DJ in the house. Your gift card winner number 3. Go ahead, Beck.
Do we really believe that the American government just handed over the keys to the space program? Come on.
Come on.
Come on. Come on. This is not hard. This is not critical thinking here. Yeah, let's just, okay, NASA, you sit here and here you go, Elon Musk, you take over our skies. The most important arms race right now is in the upper part of the skies, right? I'll never forget the first time I witnessed Starlink, like what it actually looks like. I don't know if you've ever seen
it. I saw that it was in the sky, that satellite.
My God, I was like,
crazy.
I felt like I was watching Star Wars. I was like, oh my, like it was just one after another, after satellite, after I could not. It's like the craziest thing ever if you've ever seen it, right? Literally covering the skies, right? So what's going to happen with him and what's really going on, I can't say for certain. I definitely don't trust him. Although with the way he's battling right now, it feels like you want to trust him more than anybody right now, right?
He wants to create a new party, but who's he to create a new party? He's not even American. I mean, he's not even a citizen, right? I mean, that's why Trump is threatened to deport him.
Yeah, I know. It's just, and then you got, everything that's been going on with this new mayor in New York. Not mayor, okay? He's not the mayor yet.
I really want to get to, he's not mayor yet.
He's not the mayor yet, okay? If I had to throw my hat in, okay, I want Curtis. I want, but here's what people underestimated, okay? In New York City, since everything has started in the Middle East, since October, with the war that has, really taken over the Middle East right now, right? The young people, and I would say a lot of the right also, except for the ones that are spiritually inclined to it, they think like this is a part of, whatever it is. But everyone's so against it, especially in New York City, that it's not even, hey, New York's not doing good. How do we get business back to New York City? It's, we hate what's going on in the Middle East, and we're willing to vote New York's future based on any candidate that's also against it. That should show everyone how against what's going on in the Middle East the young people are, especially on the left. So that war backfired on the left, okay? But it's also backfiring on a lot of the right. People, man, we're tired of it, man. We're tired of war.
Well, look how many people jumped ship when Trump backed Iran. We did those precision strikes. Every podcaster out there, man. I don't know if people remember. This is just last month, folks. Look what happened last month. The civil unrest, the protests, and an Iran war. Okay, what's happening this month? The flooding in Texas, which was a precision hit in my mind, and no Epstein list. I'm telling you, folks, I'm not jumping ship. There's a bigger fight here. There's a bigger chess moves being made. And I think of it like baseball cards. We'll trade you this for you to trade us that. I think there's I've heard there's 2 other bills coming, and this makes sense to me. Maybe they need some votes. I'm going to tell you, put the Epstein list on the back burner for now, just for now. Watch and see. Russiagate's going to break, and so will 2020. I think these things are coming. I think there's bigger moves ahead. I don't know how you feel about that. Do you think there's some substance in what I'm saying here, Beck? Could you see it that way?
I think it's more of a prayer at this point.
Okay.
I'll be honest.
Fair enough. I'm used to praying.
Do I understand, like I said earlier in the show, something of that level with that many powerful people involved and different countries and agencies involved is not a 1, 2, 3 prosecution and you can make it happen. But I also believe there's probably people on the inside that say, man, even if this came out, this would destroy and rip the entire fabric of the Western civilization.
Yeah, I don't think people realize just how big this is.
Okay, because I'm telling you, if you understand what happened there, if it is what we think it is, then you realize everything you've ever been told, everything that's ever happened to us, every war we've been in, people that are no longer here, in my opinion, that were taken out by these people, it's all connected, Nino. So I don't see how it ever comes out, even if they wanted to tell us, because it will just literally rip the fabric of the system to pieces.
But it needs to be, and it will be.
That, I pray to God. All I ask, you know what my prayer is? You know what my prayer is to God when I pray to him, and I pray every day? please God, all I want from you is just let the people see the truth. Just the truth.
But they're seeing it now.
And if they don't choose
You
it,
don't think this is exposing more people?
it is, yes. Listen, are we doing better than we did 10 years ago? Yes.
Yeah, but Beck, this is the common theme. This is how you get them to expose more and more and more. What's happening right now? More people are talking about weather warfare than ever before right now because of what? The floods. The floods that just happened in Texas. Everyone's talking about it. People are researching it right now. We're using their moves, their chess moves against them. The magic isn't working anymore. People are researching. They're looking into this. So the more they do, the more they expose themselves. Bro, they're not going to get away with this. But we're in for a big, big fight. No doubt about it. We are in the 10th, 11th round right now. No doubt. They're going hard. We're going hard. But every move they make, we counter. We're learning their moves. We're learning everything they do.
You want to know how you really win? You want to know how you win quicker, Nino? You know how you win quicker? If we could just get the Christians and the Muslims to realize that they're not enemies. They don't got to agree. They don't have to believe the same way. Listen, brother, if you look at even Christianity, the denominations fought each other, right? Catholic, Protestant, right? I'm just giving a brief overview of history. Even in Islam, Shia, Sunni, they fought, right? So like when people say, oh, Muslim, Christian, my friend, even within Christianity, we fought and killed each other. And so that separation and hatred always existed in different denominations, even amongst world faiths, right? How do we win the quickest path? Is they're always getting these two sides to kill each other. They need to know they're not enemies. We actually have the same enemy. And I've said this many times on your shows, and I want to say it again. The Christian and the Muslim don't have to believe the same way. But guess what? There's many denominations of Christianity that don't believe the same. Some believe he's the son of God. Some believe he's God. Some believe you get raptured before he comes. Some believe you get raptured after he comes. There's differences in belief. But what's not different is morality, adultery, destroying the world, family structure, defiling God's creation. And this is not just the same in Christianity, it's the same in Islam. And what have they done? If I was the people calling the strings, what's the easiest way to manipulate the world and destroy everybody? Pin the two biggest religions that believe in God and believe in Christ in one way or the other.
But there's been social engineers. I mean, Pike is one of them, right? They planned these 3 world wars. This is how they get us to fight.
We're sounding the alarm, you know, and that's why I respect you. Even though I'm not of the same faith, you know I respect Christ. I love him. I may not believe in him the exact same way you do. I'm not here to preach my faith to your followers. I'm here to say, it's funny how a lot of the people that are watching your show right now will say, I'm awake and I understand everything. And they don't believe the story on September, what happened in New York City. They don't believe it. They don't think it was the guys in the plane. Well, then if you don't believe it was the guys in the plane, then what does that tell you about all the stuff you've been fed? And you're still hating the Muslim. Think about that. I mean, think about how simple that is.
Well, that's how they're getting us to go against each other right there.
I see their comments and they make no sense. A lot of these people that think that they are awake and they understand what's going on in the world, they'll say, I don't believe what happened on September when New York City, and I was there underneath those buildings the day they were hit. And they'll say, I don't believe what happened, and it doesn't make sense. And what about building number 7? And then they look at the path of destruction that came after that day.
All right, let's be careful on that. Do you want to stick around for my what the fuck news?
What the fuck?
All right, folks, what the fuck news. And what the fuck news, nearly half of America's murderers get away with it. Nearly half. Now, you would think with the technology, forensics, that you would get 9 out of 10 of them. Not true. Nearly half get away with it. So, and this here says most crimes go unsolved, emboldening criminals and potentially leading to more violence. In Atkins in Louisville, Kentucky in 2023, more than a year later, his mother and sister still don't know who did it. The police have not made an arrest in the case. The same is true for Tiffany Floyd, killed in 2021, and Michael David, killed in 2017. In fact, the Louisville police did not arrest a single person in roughly cases, folks. I spoke with family members of a dozen victims. They all conveyed a similar sentiment that the police had abandoned them and theirs. The police don't actually care, said 𝗬𝗓𝗏, David's aunt. They've proven it to me. Now, one of the things, the theories is on this, is that there's so much happening. There's not enough detectives to work the cases. There's so much crime happening right now. There's such a spike in crime that's happening right now. There's not enough cases the cases can't be solved. So people are getting away with it, especially with, and I want to get your point of view in this, Beck, especially with the influx of immigrants that have come over here. Crime has spiked. In some places, 60%. In some places, 300%. So with that being said, and with the cartels that have infiltrated the police force, our politicians, everything, it makes complete sense that cases are not being solved. Maybe they don't want to solve them. What's your thoughts on this, Beck?
Well, I mean, you set this one up, so I got to do it. Why are we surprised when all of us just witnessed the largest crime in history with what happened in 2019, and they shut the world down and all of our families lost their lives? My cousin, we don't seem to want justice for that. And it was right in our face. They destroyed our lives and destroyed American society. They closed the world down. And most people are, okay, well, I guess that's what happened. It was just a thing that came out of China and it was no big deal. And so if we don't want justice for that, I mean, you're surprised about the little ones? That crime that happened to humanity affected all of us. My cousin lost his life. My other cousin lost his life. My friends lost their parents, their children. Families were destroyed. Divorce skyrocketed. We lost our businesses. We lost our civil rights. And we didn't want free. And I'm not saying me and you or the people on this broadcast, because I think if they're on this broadcast, it's not just because you're a good-looking boxer, okay?
Oh, thanks, Beck.
These are people that they want to think critically. They know there's something wrong with the world, and they want justice. So am I surprised? No. Now, as far as migrants are concerned, let me tell you one thing. I will give him this. Since the day he stepped foot in office, and those ICE agents have gone out there. Now, I do want to protect civil liberties. You can't just be going up to people because, you got to know it's them. I don't believe in this, frisk and seizure type. If we're going to say we believe in the Constitution, then we have to protect everybody, right? But that doesn't mean a migrant who's not a citizen, who's not here legally, has the same rights as an American. But Americans shouldn't be getting hurt in the crossfire, right? They shouldn't be able to just kick my door in and, if I'm an American, right? Or vice versa. So what I'm saying is this.
Right, and I agree with you. Make sure this doesn't become a police state.
It's what it's starting to feel like. I'm not going to lie.
Right.
Okay, that's number one.
So you're on the same page as me when I say the pendulum swings left. We got to watch how far right it's going to swing now.
I'm not left or right, Nino.
Right. We got to be right in the center.
Call me what I am. I believe in God. I believe in everybody's right to free speech. I believe everybody's right to practice or not practice a faith. And I believe the government should be tiny. And they shouldn't be taxing us 30, 40, 50% of our money and not even using it for us, using it to go blow up people all over the earth. I mean, I don't know what you call. Is that a libertarian? I mean, I don't know what you call. I believe in the First and Second Amendment. You never give up those rights, even at the cost of your life. As someone whose family fought against communism in Albania, I am the son of immigrants who fought against the darkness of communism. It's why I was born in America. I'm a proud American. I'm a proud Texan, and I am a proud of what was New York City. It's gone. Now, have I noticed a difference? Let me tell you something. Being in New York City, one of the worst places you could be during these last 5 years, there was migrants everywhere. Illegal ones, not the ones that are like just trying to do the right thing. I'm talking about on the corners, in the streets, robbing people. We had minors, I can't even use the word, assaulted with the R word, rhymes with grape. Yeah. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like what happened in Europe.
Minors. Okay. Since the minute this man stepped in office the second time around, they're not on the corners no more, brother. You can't see them. Like it's like they're gone.
Yeah, they're hiding.
Where the hell did they all go? Now I know they didn't arrest all of them that fast. But they must really be scared. Like they're not staying where they were staying. Like there is a visible big difference in that capacity since the man has stepped in office. You got to give him that. I just don't want it to be to the extreme where people lose their rights.
Yeah, I agree.
I think there needs to be a path. I think the fairest thing would have been the people that have been here, who have paid taxes, who are not criminals, should be granted amnesty once and for all. Just finish it. Dreamers. I have a friend, brother, whose family is citizens. He was brought here as a 1-year-old. He knows nothing but America. And his family is here legally now. Like, they have their citizenship. But meanwhile, he's still stuck in limbo. How the hell? So, like, and all he's done is be a productive part of America. And let's be fair. We've all came. We're all the sons of immigrants. Okay? That's a fact. Now, do I think that should be open? Absolutely not. I'm against open border. I'm against just granting citizenship. It needs to be a merit-based system. Look, my cousin just became a citizen. You know how she became a citizen? She served the U.S. Navy. They said, if you serve the Navy for 5 years, she just became.
I think that we should still do that. I think we should still do that. If they want to get citizenship, young men, go serve in the Army, go serve in the Special Forces.
You're paying for entry.
There you go. And
my cousin's a girl. My cousin, I will not reveal her name for her own safety. She's in North Carolina right now. Literally 3 years or 5. I forgot what shit to do. But after 3 years, they gave her just for serving the U.S. Navy. She's already an officer. She moved up very quickly. They love her. So what I'm saying is, extremes.
But see, Trump is also saying that the people that work in the hotel industry, restaurant industry, they may get amnesty. Farming, to me,
I feel like if they prove,
you got to do it for all. You can't just pick and choose who you think it's going to be. Get the violent criminals out. Get rid of all of them. I am all for that. But I know for a fact, dude, there's at least a quarter to a few 100,000 people in El Paso that are illegal living there. I mean, I'm going to tell you this right now. How are we going to get all these people out of here? And I know there's people that live there that have had a family for the last 20, 30 years that are abuelos now, grandfathers, that their kids only know English. I mean, are we really going to get them and take them out of the recliner?
I don't think those, my opinion, man, if you've been here for longer than 10 or 20 years, I'm talking about.
You're paying taxes. I mean, I don't know.
You've been paying taxes. You have no criminal record. You've been a productive part of American society. Maybe there's an amnesty for the dreamers. Finish it there. And then the rest of the time, if it's not done the right way, out immediately.
I agree. Because it's just such a big problem to handle in our tax.
Let's not forget one thing also. In these societies, like we're still like down the shore, like down, I can speak for like Wildwood and Cape May, New Jersey. They're seasonal businesses, right? They're only busy during the summertime because they're on the Atlantic Ocean. The rest of the year, they're slow. It's like a ghost town. Okay. So they have 3 months to make their money. But in those 3 months, they can't find employees. No regular American, like maybe very few college kids, what I did when I was a kid. I loved going down there for the summer. I'd make a couple $100 every couple of days and have fun and go to the beach and wait tables, But that changed. So what do? They file for J1 visas. And every summer they're bringing in thousands of people from Moldova, Georgia, Albania, Ireland. Unfortunately, a lot of them had to go back to waiting tables because their economy had crashed for a while. So what I'm saying is, it's funny because even with all these migrants, they're still having to import people to come work the season. Literally import, right?
Wow.
So to get rid of all these migrants and immigrants.
And then think about this too. The migrants are the ones that work hard when they come here. The kids today in Generation Z and below them.
My car wash closed. When the ICE raids began, my car wash closed for like 2 weeks. It was closed.
It's going to hurt the backbone of America, really.
I'm not doing those jobs. You're going to do them?
No. And neither is somebody's 15-year-old kid. They don't work either.
No, they don't want to work. They want to stay.
They're just stuck on the phone and on the computer. American kids don't work. Look, Beck, and here's something else. And I know this show's going in so many different directions, but I'm even going to say this. I think in America, you're not an adult until you're almost 30. I think when back in the day, in the 50s, 60s, maybe at 18, you're an adult. Now the American kid is still a kid living at home with his parents until they're almost 30. Other countries, not so. Go anywhere else in the world, kids are adults by the time they're 13. But in America, kids are not adults until they're at least 30, man. It takes that much longer in America for a kid to grow up. And I think it might, come on, it's true.
It's
true.
Let me tell you something. I was like, listen, I'm born and raised in America, right? The first time I ever went back to Albania, okay? I see this kid. He must have been 9 or 10 years old. He's in the streets holding a thing, trying to sell cigarettes on the highway. And he even lights a cigarette. He even lit a cigarette up. He's 9 years old. He lights a cigarette up. And I'm looking at him like as an American educated, you know. What are you doing, you know? He turns around to me in Albanian. He says the most nasty thing. I won't say it here, but he basically tells me to go F my own, you know, mom.
Yeah.
He's like, who are you? Like, you pay my bills? Like, basically, this kid was like already 40 years old. He was only like 9 years old, man. Because I believe a man becomes a man based on what they've been through, not how old they are.
I agree.
And the quickest way to manhood is when you become that provider to your family. Some men become men when they're 12, 11, 13. And
there's kids going to war in other countries at 10 years old.
All over Africa, unfortunately, right? So
in Mexico, in Mexico, they kick kids that are 9, 10, 11 years old to become sicarios, hired killers. That's when they start grooming them into the age of being a hired, contracted killer for the cartels, is the young kids.
And I mean, there's some boys who never become men. 40 years old, they're still not men.
100%. And unfortunately, that's the American male.
And what are their characteristics? They go and knock up 10 different women. They have no honor to raise the kids that they brought into this world because they're still worse than a kid up here. You're not a man to bring life into this world and not take care of that child. You're garbage, bro.
Yeah.
You're garbage. You're human waste. And that's the biggest problem we have. You know, and I've said this publicly many times. We are living in a generation of bastards because of how many children are being born out of lust and not out of love in the way that God made it.
100%.
And because deadly sins have deadly repercussions, and because adultery has finally caught up to this nation is being destroyed from within. So what we are going through, we want to point to Epstein and this one and that one, when most of us don't want to even look in the mirror
100%
and fix what's wrong with our own souls first.
This is the first time, Beck, and I'm sure you can agree with this. I'm sure my audience can agree. This is the first time that you're seeing women and men go into their 30s, into their 40s, into their 50s, alone and childless. Single. And this is the first time we've ever seen this by the millions. And they're all saying the same thing. I got my Gucci bag. I don't need a kid. They're all lying to themselves. It's happening in droves, dude, in the millions. Everyone,
and they're not happy. Trust me, they're not happy.
They're not happy
because they're going against the natural order that the manufacturer of all of us made us with. 100%. And that manufacturer, the creator, told us how to operate optimally. He sent us beautiful books to teach us how to be better human beings.
But this is why they're going to be so susceptible to the transhumanist agenda. It's going to be a generation of misfits that accept this beast system. The people that grew up in families with core values, ethics, they're not going to accept it. And this is where the collision course is coming that you talked about earlier. The collision course is happening right now, AI and God. And it's going like this. Boom. Some people are going to accept AI as God. Others will not accept it. They will not take the mark. They will not bow down. And this is where the collision course is coming. We haven't hit it yet. It's coming. Beck, with that being said, it's time to end the show. I got to roll. I'm in a motel. The maids are going to start knocking. Housekeepers are going to start knocking. And I got to go. They're going to try to kick me out. So thank you for joining me. Where do people find you?
You can find all my links at becklover.com. B like boy, EK lover.com.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Always a pleasure, brother. Miss you. Yeah. And we got it, man. How we still haven't met in the physical realm is crazy to me. It's wild to me.
I want to bring you on as it gets closer to the mayoral run in New York.
And real quick on that, can I just say 2 minutes real quick for you?
Yes, absolutely.
They propagate him as a Muslim. Meanwhile, he was marching parade. You can't be both.
Right. Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Okay. So he's not. If he's a Muslim, then I guess I'm Hindu. I guess I'm Hindu. So these are ways to create. Why are they attacking him? Because he's against what's going on overseas. And he said if a certain prime minister of that country came to New York, he would arrest him. That's why they're attacking. The youth don't want the war. They're against it. They know if the Middle East gets out of hand, everyone's getting drafted. So you better be paying attention, Americans. If that shit spirals, I lean more towards Iran is actually in on it with Israel, but that's my whole my thought on it. I think it's just a show. I think, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, of course, the intelligence agency.
I think it's a show. I think it's a show.
Yeah,
so
no, that's a whole nother.
Why are they attacking him? He's Muslim. He's Muslim. He's Muslim because he's against that war over there, and he's the furthest thing from a Muslim. Just for the record, as someone.
All right,
so that's it. That's my 2 thoughts on him.
But let's do a show on that. You want to do a show?
I don't think he wins. I think if I call it, it's going to be Adams versus 𝗬𝗂𝗧𝗂𝗧. I hope Curtis wins. He was the head of the Guardian Angels. This is a man that bled for New York City. This is a man who risked his life, his entire life, in the streets of New York when the police couldn't even help.
Was he the guy? He was the guy of the Guardian Angels, huh?
He launched the Guardian Angels, and one of their first dojos was in my grandfather's building.
Wow.
In the Bronx, when the Bronx was burning to the ground in the 70s because the landlords were all burning their buildings. You know who. With that said, the next episode, Nino.
All right, let's do it. All right, Beck, thank you so much. All right, Alex, are you there?
I'm here. You know, we got a couple super chats. Do you want to take them real quick?
Yeah. Did we do the last winner?
Oh, yeah. Last winner is Shield MF.
Shield MF, thank you so much. You win the $25 cheap date with Nino. Visa gift card. Thank you so much for joining. All right, let's get to the super chat. Nino, no Epstein-Klein list was the final straw. Corrupt scum beyond belief, regardless of political party. Only God will make them pay. Both sides are compromised, and no one trusts Pam Bondi or Cash Now. You know what? Yeah, you have. That's a very relevant point, and they better have factored that into the equation. They better have factored that into the equation, knowing that. See, I'm waiting for something else to hit later down the road. That's what I'm waiting on, and I think these are cards they're playing, but. They better realize Dan Bongino, Cash Patel, Pam Bondi, all of you now are not trusted. And that's just the truth of it. And I'm not saying that. Other people are saying that. Not me, not Nino. Just other people believe that now. I'm sticking up for you guys. All right, next person. Commander Shepard Epstein files aren't being hidden to protect the victims. It's to protect the monsters. I've been saying it for years. No arrest, none of Juan's prison barge cruises to Gitmo, no tribunals, no convictions, no executions. Absolutely, you are entitled to your opinion, brother, and I respect it. Preston Jones, Nino, is Nasara a real thing? I've heard it is. I've heard it is. But I guess it's very unpopular to say anything right now, especially when the Epstein list doesn't come out. So I don't want to go down that road right now. I don't want to get kicked in the balls any more than I need to. Henbury Farm, watched Larry Ballard's interview on three times. I purchased 100 USD in Vietnam Dong. Have you purchased any of the dinar? I haven't done any of that yet. I've just been great journalism at the Guadalupe River. That was accidental journalism, by the way. I just so happened to be driving down that stretch of highway when it hit. Nothing was planned. It was a complete accident. So yeah, it was pretty cool that, I got to see the storm firsthand, and I'm telling you right now, nothing about this was natural. Nothing.
It's crazy.
Debbie Clore, thank you so much. Wow, thank you.
Thank you, Debbie.
Officer Tater Hater, the Epstein list actually could crush everything. I agree with you on this because how many people are on it? 100% you are right. I even think General Mattis and Billy Graham visited. I think you could be right. A lot of important people. A lot of people. And there's 2 big bills coming. That's what I'm going to be waiting on. These 2 big bills. And then after that, then I'm going to see what happens. Amy W. Nino Christie Walton, some billionaire behind No King's protest, is now funding a pharma-backed group to bypass CDC oversight under RFK Jr. They're using medical orgs to keep yep, I know. It's a fight against evil, folks. It's not stopping. The fight's only getting harder. People need to understand this. We are in the fight. It only means this gets harder and tougher. It doesn't. We are in it now. We are in the championship rounds. Samaj S. Hey, Nino, tried to have my friend Proof Economic Todd Allen video call you Friday. I know you had to go to the doc. Alex, his YouTube is How to Be Happy TV.
Okay.
You both have interviewed Bishop Larry. Oh, yeah, Larry Gators. Whatever happened to him? Man, I don't know what happened to Larry Gators. He was a good guest. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it for today.
Okay, so let's keep notes of that. All right, folks. Thank you so much for joining me. What do I
Peace
think?
out, everyone.
What's that?
I was just saying, peace out, everybody.
Yeah, peace out, everybody. Thank you. I need to get the hell out of here.
𝗀𝗏𝗧, Mr. David.
Mr. David. All right. Thanks, Alex. All right, folks. And the new heavyweight champion of podcasting and the black sheep of broadcasting, folks. Later.